Hey guys, it's Vince. Today I've got a simple plasma system, and why I call it a simple plasma system is I get a lot of questions on these units. I've discussed it many times in previous videos. A plasma system set up correctly, as far as a production robot, you will potentially make the most money you'll ever make just because of the capability of the unit. This unit, what makes it a simple plasma is it does not have an integrated THC. It's simply got the relay set up in a dry contact format to cycle the torch on from Mach 3. This is the base essential system to get started with plasma cutting as far as robotics. A lot of guys feel that they want to go and jump the gun and immediately get a THC, and I always recommend to everybody, first have a consultation. We'll cover exactly what you need, and a THC is not always going to be the best investment if you're cutting really thick metals. And when I say thick metals, I'm talking more closer to 1/4 inch, 6.35 millimeter in thickness. The reason why is you're not dealing with as much warpage. THCs all basically function on the same format in that they utilize a relay to cycle the torch up and down based on your arc voltage. Again, they're not miraculous. A lot of guys think that they're going to, make their entire machine into this, holy grail operation as far as it being completely hands-off. They work really well for about 85 to 90% of the time, depending on the substrates used. However, if you're using thicker substrates or you're using more quality substrates, you do not have to install that immediately. I tell all my clients the same thing. Test the system first. See if you need it. If you're okay wiring it and installing it yourself, save the money, because the cost and labor is not going to necessarily justify you using it if you can use the machine without it. And once again, this client listened to me. We've set it up, and I'm just covering right here. We've got, of course, all the graphics set up. He is using the Master Edition enclosure with all the additional ports added. Now, of course, I'll actually lift this port cover up again. These are all 3-pin GX16 panel mounts. And again, they're all the way through. So again, all the ports have been added to support all the available options on the G540. The only one that's actually wired is this one over here, which is used for his torch. You can see exactly what we've got here. He does get a double shielded 20-foot cable with this base system, and it allows him to cycle his torch on from Mach 3. And you can see the connections here: pin 1 red, pin 2 black, pin 3 shield drain. Of course, that cable is double shielded, as it should be. This chassis is, of course, grounded. Power supply is grounded. Once he plugs everything in, it is completely grounded. He is all set. The only thing he has to worry about then is grounding his actual chassis, and that must be done with surgical precision, dealing with a plasma system. So again, very, very base model in sense of operation. I like to keep it extremely simple for the client. He will have all his servicing diagrams, including even setting up the relay in Mach 3, relay settings for Mach 3 under ports and pins. Go output 1, put in port 1, pin 17. I mean, it's all right here. We'll go inside the enclosure. Here would be his GX16 6-pin connector if he decided to go with a THC. He's already got it installed. All he'd have to do is do the additional wiring for that. He's all set. So if we rotate the chassis, and many of you have seen this already in my previous videos, you can see what we've got here. We've got our servicing diagram for the relay. Everything is here. It is a dry contact relay configuration, meaning there's no voltage going to it. It is toollessly mounted. Got a ground bus bar. It's also toollessly mounted. And of course, you can see here the shield drain coming in. We do have full continuity on the power supply going to the chassis. So all of this is conductive and grounded. Okay, that's the exact way we want to do it. And of course, you can see that we've got pin 1 and pin 2, and again, these are just configured in a dry contact relay to close the circuit, and that will trigger his torch. Coming over here, dry contact relay inputs, including wire colors. This is his wiring diagram for his GX16 3-pin connector here. Should he actually have to service his own system, he will not need to send the unit back if he does not want to. Now, that being said, I have clients that do not feel they want to service their own systems. Works Holsters sends back all their systems for servicing, and they feel comfortable doing that. If you don't feel comfortable working on the system, by all means, send it back. Save the packaging that comes with the unit. It's high-end packaging, I know, because I pay for it. It's a double corrugated box. It's built with hot glue. It's also built with packing tape. Save it, and then in the event you want to send it back, you already have the packaging, and you don't have to worry about potentially it being damaged in shipping. Once again, this client set out of the box. You can definitely see the ferrites here installed for passive filtration going to our relay. Everything is connected here, and it's all been tested. It once again has been calibrated with a Fluke 179 multimeter, the power supply at 48 volt, 12.5 amp, 600 watts. So he is all set. Now, once again, using my Rev 2 power supply, you could see those V negative and V positive terminal outputs. We have 10. So any additional accessories he wants to add, and I reiterate this in all my videos because a lot of guys don't look at this until they buy a standard power supply and they find out they run out of terminal locations for accessories. This unit I designed so that it would not run out of locations for accessories. That being said, it also has an internal EMI filter. So it is a true CNC design power supply. That's the application it's designed for. So again, you can see all bases have been covered. This unit is, like I said, it's a base system, but the beauty is it can be expanded based on the end user's need whenever he decides to. So I hope I've answered a lot of questions, because understanding that a relay is mandatory for even a base plasma system, mainly because we need to cycle the torch on and off from the motion control software. If we can't do that, there's no way for them to cut. Remember, your cutter is your torch in a plasma robot. The router is using a simple spindle. We need to always pay attention to what application we're working with, because this is what will determine whether or not this is a robot, in the sense that it'll trigger the torch on and off when it's done cycling and actually going through the G code. So again, you can see the entire system, and this client will be getting this along with his configuration video, so he'll know how to set everything up. And then all he's got to do is learn his CAM software, learn Mach 3, and begin hopefully making money immediately, and that's the overall goal. So again, guys, I cannot emphasize enough, I want to thank you all for your support. If you do have any questions, you'll see the contact information in the video below. Thank you all. Take care.